Just picked up 2 riding mowers. This is one of them. Got Briggs V Twin. This did run. I sprayed some brake clean in it. It did make some noise, and it kind of ran off the car, but it's not getting really any fuel for some reason. The deck's right here. It's in pretty rough shape. Needs 4 wheels and the things that hold them on because they're pretty rough. And the discharge chute has seen some serious abuse. I don't even know what all those holes are for. I guess it's zip ties trying to hold it together. Supposedly this guy was taking parts off of that tractor to try and keep this one going. I took that deck off so we could fit it through the tiny gate he had. Fuel filters on backwards, I see. Air filter didn't look too bad. Battery, obviously, was good. Needs an amp meter. 900 hours. That other one I need to put a battery in and hook the battery up to see what hours it's got. It looks like it's had a bagger on it and it's before. The only tire on it that doesn't hold air is that one. It's got gas in it, but I think it's pretty old. It's just registering at the bottom of that thing there. Front axle's a little looser than you'd expect off a mower this age. It does have a genuine Briggs filter on it, and that one, who came from the same guy, has a Wix filter on it, so that's good. Does someone explain to me why there's 2 valve stems here, though, on both sides? It's not like that on the other machine, but on this one, there's 2 valve stems. Why is that? And they both work. I've never seen that before. I don't know if that's factory or what, but let me know. Let me just... There we go. Fix that. Relatively solid machine from what I can tell. It just needs some serious work. Not nearly as bad as that one from what I can tell. So yeah, gonna power wash these, and yeah, we'll get to work. So I at least tried to pressure wash it, but the pressure washer ran out of gas before I could really get to this one. I got most of the other one though. Regardless, yeah, I've found the tires go flat in about a day, like pancake flat. The front 2 don't, but I think they still leak. I also found that someone drilled a hole in the hood. Dumb. If you're wondering why the battery's disconnected, I did that. You know, seeing all the debauchery going on here, at least with, you know, both of these. Didn't want that to catch fire or anything going down the highway. Missing the cup holder. I don't remember what I went and did and didn't go over. I did put a note zip tie in there, so the seat is good enough for now. Again, I tried to get it running there, but I just couldn't get it to keep running. It's not taking fuel in. The fuel filter's on backwards, you can tell. See, all the electrical's just like chilling right on the edge right here. This is horrible. You couldn't really see it before, but you can really see how worn out these are now. And these are all real bent. This deck needs a full rebuild. Like, strip it down to the bare shell, sand it down, repaint it, and then put all new parts back on. Not much I can do about these except replace that and this, unless I want to cut these off and manufacture new ones and put those on, but I don't feel like doing that. The blades are okay. I mean, they need sharpened, but otherwise they're not too bad. I don't know how bad the spindles are or any of the other pulleys. You can tell by looking at that, it does not look like it's ever been greased. This whole thing's probably never been greased, never taken care of. You can hear it right now. One pulley is very aggravated. There's paint loss on the whole tractor. This must have moved enough for that pulley to grind that hole, which is terrifying. So, yeah, I just noticed we're missing something right here. That just doesn't look right. Accidentally cut the camera off, but this is the headlight wiring harness that was melted pretty bad, at least parts of it. The exhaust is missing the cover and it's bashed up pretty bad, but I'm not really concerned about that. It's really rusty up under here. And I've been trying to figure out, so I was just absolutely bummed as to what model engine this is and stuff. Because like the fuel filter, or the fuel pump's over here, which didn't make any sense, but let me get this hood off of here. Anyway, trying to figure out what model engine this was, because, you know, sticker's gone. It makes sense why the valve cover is over here and the fuel pump's over here, but I think that he literally just swapped where the fuel pump sits, because, you know, you can do that. At least I think. I'm gonna go with yes. Yes, you can. Relatively easily. Why did he do that? I don't know. I just tell he's missing the hose clamp. There's no hose clamp on the top of the carb. The other machine, I don't want to spoil the next video too much, but the other machine already has an aftermarket carb on it, and it's a newer machine. I mean, this is still a decent engine. They're not bad. And this mower itself will be pretty good when I'm done with it. Newer throttle cable, I just noticed. Where's that choke? I don't know if that choke or throttle. That's choke. Well, no, it might be throttle. What is going on here? I don't know what is going on with this thing. This fuel solenoid looks like it's been chewed on a little bit. Oh, it's loose. Oh. That'd be the reason why the bowl was empty. But, yeah, I had to tap on that fuel solenoid a good bit for it to start working again. And it to even somewhat fire off the carb. So, yeah, that carb's probably all gummed up. It is a 2-barrel. The last one of these I worked on was a single barrel. And the first one, I'm not sure if it was a dual barrel or single barrel. I didn't have to do any carb work to the first one. New bolt, or not new bolt, just different bolt right there. The air filter hadn't changed in centuries on both of these. These wires look new, but they don't look bad. And on the other machine, it's literally just missing the voltage regulator. I've not seen that before. This fuel filter's been on here for a while wrong. I mean, it would work like that, but it's not right. All this is back here is just so rusty and messed up. It's filthy. It needs good power wash. I noticed that the piece here is bad. So yeah, let's just hook the battery back up, take the air filter off, and see if we can get it to crank. Thinking about it, this video may come out after the other machine, whatever I do to it, because this, you know, this deck needs all the work that it does. This fuel solenoid probably needs replaced, looking at this. Hopefully I can get it out. Oh, no, it's not spinning. That's just how they are. I forgot. Should I still take that out, though? No, it's fine. Looking at this carb, it's not too filthy. But seeing that the fuel solenoid was stuck and I had to tap on it to get it to work again, I know there's some buildup in that bowl. So if I have to take this carb off and clean it, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think this fuel is too fresh either. When I had the gas cap off, I'm trying to see if I could get it to drive up on the trailer there, which wasn't going to happen. It showed me pretty quick. Yeah, it didn't smell too fresh. Also, just noticed it doesn't look to have like any buildup of anything around the bottom of the engine here, so you'd think there'd be a lot more for 900 hours. So I don't know, maybe he just swapped this engine in here. I don't know. The tag is missing off the mower, so I don't know what year the mower is, but if I can remember how to read these right, this is a 06 made on the 23rd of March. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I think that says. And again, I'm pretty sure that valve cover should be over here and the fuel pump should be over there. Especially considering that the fuel line is going in a very sharp curve around that way to right here, when it could just simply come around here. And I'm pretty sure that that's where the fuel line would usually go. But it's over here, or, well, not even over here. It's the headlight harness is going through there. Yeah, that's just not on there right. That's all it is. So yeah, we'll get that moved back over here the way it's supposed to be. These valve covers aren't the same as the ones I got gaskets for, dang it. Worst deck wheel out of all of them. Don't forget the parking brake this time. New battery. Let's try it now. I've seen this movie before. fuel is just not running off of it. I don't know what it's trying to do. Violent. What is it trying to do? Well, I don't know if it's trying to run off the bowl, but yeah, there's plenty of water everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Some of that's black, some of it's clear. It don't make sense. It appears to be moving fuel in the filter, or at least it's shaking around like crazy. So try it a few more times, but if it don't do anything, then we'll get pulling that carb off. Come on, you. Oh, come on. I think that just all the jets are either completely plugged up or the float's not working, because I choke it and it fires for another split second. So we're gonna have to pull that carb off, but I think the internals are good, at least. Didn't hear any engine noise. It stinks. Alright, it's a couple days later. Looking at the footage, we had quite the light show going on from right about here, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the voltage regulator. The wires are connected, so I don't know what that was from. Maybe it's because it's loose that was causing it. I don't know. I don't know if this is supposed to be ground to the frame. I'd have to look at a book, look at the diagram. But also, obviously, it didn't seem to want to run off the carb bulb. It kind of, if you crank and crank and crank, you know, like I said before, it would get enough fuel inside to fire once or twice. So I'm guessing that it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna pull this carb off of here, and yeah, we'll go ahead and actually put this other one on over here. This isn't a permanent thing. This is just until I can rebuild this one. My neighbor had this cheap Chinese aftermarket one sitting around from like a store that was closing. He cleaned out or something. I don't know. He got this probably for nothing, and he doesn't have any use for it. And again, this is not going to be on here forever. It's just, we all know these carbs are a little bit finicky. I can still rebuild it easily, but gaskets that are inside that carb aren't going to want to stay in peace when I take it apart. So yeah, we'll just put this on, figure out what that one needs, and yeah, we'll get back to try and get this thing to start. I want to see how bad the deck sounds. I know these pulleys are terrible, all the bearings. This one's been replaced with a non-greasable one. I love how it's painted on one side but not the other. Yeah, the deck's probably going to sound terrible, but I just want to see, you know, all that, and I also want to test the transmission, make sure everything's still good. This is still a mower that I can make work. This isn't as bad as the intek, the other one that came from the same place, but it's up there. The wire's literally buried. These things both have probably been run hot. I do not know if the first one to be in here either. Look at all the scratch marks here. Wonder what he was doing inside this one. That wire's pulled a little tight. Man, these are filthy. I've seen worse though. Maybe want to change that starter gear before I sell this to somebody. Yeah, getting there though. Getting close to taking the carb off. I took this fuel line expecting to make a huge mess, but there's literally nothing in here. Interesting, isn't it? Oh, nope, there's some coming out. Okay. So you think maybe the carb just ain't letting it in? Doesn't smell fresh, I can tell you that much. Anyway, I'm taking this carb off. It's pointless to try and run it as it is. Thing's obviously a mess. Okay, I really want to clean this out, but I just thought I'd show you some of how bad this is before I do. Look at that. This whole thing is like, this is, wow. Take your blower housings off and clean, take the blower housing off and clean all these cooling fins out if you have an air-cooled motor. This will cause it to overheat, and yeah, all the problems that come from overheating, you'll have them if you don't clean these out. Okay, got the carb on the bench here. Let's tear it apart. It is at least these plastic pieces are a greasy mess. The carb itself doesn't look as bad, which is interesting. It is a Nicky carb. Oh, the screws. This carb's definitely been off before, looking at these screws. Either that or it's just Nicky's crappy quality. I don't know. Ugh. Regardless, we're gonna see if we can make this work. Alright, here we go. Take this piece off. There's the choke. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it really doesn't look bad at all. The gasket looks even relatively new. You never know, maybe the gaskets in here are still alright and I could reassemble this tonight. I mean, all these gaskets really do look new. But regardless, oh well, they've been on there for a while. I found this carb chemical dip. I've not had it for too long, but I've learned a couple things about it. One, it seems to kind of I don't know what the word is. It just, you put a gasket in there that's stuck to the carb like this one in. After being in the chemical dip, it will fall off and be like a brand new gasket. It doesn't make sense. But it's pretty cool. Also, I've never actually opened up one of these carbs before. I've just seen the insides of a couple of them, so very interesting. I can find the right socket. Do I have a socket small enough? Yes, just barely, and I need the thing. All right, let's get this off. This gasket's only to replace this one on the front. It's for the choke though, so it doesn't have to seal perfect. It's everything after that that has to seal. But then again, you don't want to have just no gasket on the choke because, well, You don't want unfiltered air getting in. I mean, if you gotta order gaskets for everything else, you might as well order the choke gasket. But I think in the kit, it will probably come with all of them. So yeah. Maybe this gasket isn't as good as I thought it was though. But these ball screws are they've been removed before. I don't have a doubt in my mind about that. Either that or just Nikki's even worse than I thought. I don't know. Both are just as likely to have happened. Man, these things are a mess. Interesting how the choke mechanism is built into this. Makes removing a little bit easier though. Okay. How does this? Tell me your secrets. Does it just not come out? Yeah, fine, be that way. Let's get this gasket out of here. Are there 2 gaskets on here? There's a metal spacer right here, and it's starting to leak fuel. There's fuel in that bowl, it's just not getting it. Also, I took the spark plugs out and spun the engine over. What in the hell? Yeah, there's something wrong with this car because that fuel pump works like really good. Multiple thin gaskets in this metal spacer and then everything else. Is that really necessary? What in the world? What is this metal spacer? It just blocks air, it looks like. That's weird. So, get out. Or does this one not come out? Okay, there we go. It's just stuck. Go to the side. Let me get some of this dirt off of here and then we'll finish tearing down the carb. There we go. Just had to shake that off. I want to see what's inside this bowl. Like, now. I'm going to get a flathead screwdriver for this one. Yeah. Thankfully they at least have flathead things though. I like Phillips head, but every screw needs to have at least a flathead piece in it. So when the Phillips does eventually break, you can still get it out. Oh good gosh, this is on here tighter than heck. There, oh my gosh. Yeah, one was not as tight as the other. I'm dropping everything on the floor today. So, What in the world? Interesting in here. The float don't go all the way up, or as far as it's supposed to. Looks pretty clean in here, I gotta say. It's interesting. What is going on with this fuel solenoid? It's like stuck in the closed position, which I've never seen. No? I don't think this is the right solenoid for this. I think you probably have the wrong solenoid. Look at this thing. It's not even like, it's not doing anything. This ain't the right solenoid, I'm calling it. Yeah, and it's not the original either. There's some pretty deep gouges on that. There's also water in here. Not much, but there's a little bit, so. Yeah, I'm not surprised this didn't run. Hope new screws come in the kit, because it's going to need them. I think this is as far as I'm going to go with this for tonight. I'll put this in the chemical dip, and we'll be back to it. Oh yeah, Nicky quality right there. Plastic needle. The rest of this doesn't look too bad, so doesn't look too bad. It looks really clean. So why let fuel in? That's interesting. Take this top off. Okay. There we go. One, two, and then the third one's probably going to be tighter than heck. Oh, nope, never mind. It's looser than the others. There we go. Funky looking gasket. Hello, funky looking gasket. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too bad in here. This isn't inside the carb. It's these which are inside, so yeah. Honestly, I don't know why this carb doesn't run. Why you no worky? Let me take this piece. Uh-oh, what's this? Where'd you come from? Oh, okay, it came out of here. Note to self, this can fall out. Just go back where you came from. You take, oh, both of them are trying to fall out. You take this out. Put all the parts in this thing right here. I got it here. Might as well organize all this so I don't get lost. There's another gasket, but another big one back behind this that might be our problem. But yeah, that one even tight. The good thing about filling this is I know exactly where everything goes when I put it back together. Here's another real funky looking gasket. And it again doesn't look that bad. I don't know why this carb does not run. I mean, it genuinely would not run. It would only, and I mean only, fire on starting fluid and rarely fire on its own carb. And what is this gasket? I mean, I knew this would be here, but still, it's even funkier in real life. I could probably reuse this. It's a little hard. There's one more piece that we can take off, not that one. It's back behind here. Take this off and then we'll throw in the chemical dip. Oh yeah, there's 2 emulsion tubes, which also look spotless. I don't understand. I'm guessing there's just something in this final piece, which I'm about to remove, that is completely plugged. Don't ask me what that was, because I have no idea. There's a choke flap. Some weird marks on it. There we go. We just got our choke lever out now. And then the final piece before putting this in the chemical dip. Actually, I don't think I want to put this plastic in the chemical dip. I mean, I've put multiple floats in the chemical dip for long periods of time and it hasn't hurt them, but these pieces right here, I don't have to buy them. Okay, these holes are like completely plugged down in here. Show some light. Well, not completely plugged, but That ain't gonna run if that's like that, so there's our problem. I've heard that these fail relatively often. Well, that's our culprit. Yeah, we'll obviously clean everything else up while we're here. It's pretty brittle, considering compared to everything else. Yeah, that ain't gonna run like that at all. Well, there you have it. But yeah, everything else is getting cleaned very, very thoroughly while we're here. Because why not? Yeah, we'll throw this in the chemical dip and we'll be back to it in a while. What the hell was he thinking? So I'm guessing maybe this is the right fuel solenoid, but it's just been broken off. Like, what the hell? It just keeps getting better with this thing. That's the fuel solenoid, or that's the starter solenoid, not mounted to anything. It's just kind of chilling there. The bolt holes are right there, but they're not being used. And there's no protection on those bolt heads either, which means that can just, over time, go down low enough and low enough and low enough and just contact the frame and create an even bigger light show than what was going on here. Also, I don't even know if I mentioned it. I'm jumping back and forth between not even these two machines, but like so many others. I keep forgetting what I do and don't mention. 2 valve stems on each side, which doesn't make sense. They both look new, but only one of them works. Only that one works, and of course, the tire still leaks. So, yeah, I really don't know what's going on with this thing. But I can get it fixed up. I just want to get this engine to run, even if I have to completely disconnect the alternator so it's not sparking. I just need to confirm the engine is good. There's no internal motor noise. I mean, I don't think there is. But, you know, we heard it run. But yeah, I just want to confirm that's good. Make sure the PTO works. But, you know, pulling that switch, it didn't do anything. But then again, that might have something to do with it. And the transmission works. I want to make sure all that's good. If all that's good, I can fix everything else. I can find another 48-inch deck if I have to. But this one's not beyond it. It just needs a full rebuild. Now, might need a new front axle. Or at least these plates which the front mounts to. I'm going to have to find a tractor for parts potentially for this. I don't know. Or go to a scrapyard and get some parts for it. Well, I got bored of being inside and came back outside, and I'm taking all these covers off and cleaning them. I already took this one off, cleaned everything that I can behind it. I've got this one off. It desperately needs it. Pressure washer really wouldn't have gotten to this, so it's good that I'm cleaning it. But I will still pressure wash this, and it'll make it look clean. But yeah, it is just a royal mess. Also, apparently there's an oil level sensor on this, but it's not hooked up. Okay, well again, I can't remember how much I filmed, but I got bored of being inside last night. So I came out here and I turned some wrenches. I took all the engine shrouds off and cleaned underneath them. It still looks somewhat dirty from here, but the difference is there's not a ½ inch of dirt and grease up under there. So just a quick power wash and this will be just fine. This thing must have been running real hot last time it ran though. I mean, the whole thing was filthy, and it's definitely coming from that breather. Like I said, not the first one of those I've seen leak horrifically bad. Regardless, got the intake, the plastic intake manifolds cleaned up. It's pretty warped, so we'll see if that's a vacuum leak. Hopefully not. Also, it never dawned on me until just now. You know, I could just take all the gaskets out of this aftermarket carb and use them to rebuild the original. So that's what I'm gonna do. You see, they're all in pretty good shape. That might be a little swollen. We'll see. I'll try and run them. I mean, if it runs at all, it's a big improvement. I just want to see if the transmission works and see that electric clutch work before I go too much further with this, because obviously those are pretty major and expensive components. I have another clutch if I have to put that on. But that transmission, if that transmission don't work, then yeah, I need to stop spending money on this for now and work on something else that will make some money until I can find another trans for this. At least maybe, I don't know. If the transmission in this is bad, I may part this one out instead and may save the other, but I think that trans will still be good. But yeah, Getting close to having the car ready to go. Won't be today, though, I can tell you that much. It's still soaking in here. I already took it out and cleaned all the old gaskets off. It's been in there for about 16 hours now. It's a lot better. Yeah, I want to leave it in there just a little bit longer because there's no adjustment on this carb, so it has to be absolutely perfect or it will never work. Alright, so this thing's been in the chemical dip for a while now. Took it out, blew it off of the air, or brake clean, and then the some compressed air. Man, brain not braining. That's good enough. Start cleaning out the jets. Make sure they're all clear. I can see one that is not, or one emulsion tube that's a little plugged, or at least one hole in it. So these right here, you open them up, are very good access points for cleaning these emulsion tubes. Wrong one. I can find the right ones. Dang it, where are they? They're somewhere, I know it. Anyways. Yeah, this is just gonna be a good time lapse, and yeah, see when it's done. Well, I had to look back at the footage to figure out what order the gaskets need to go in, but then I just got carried away and put it on. So the carb is completely rebuilt. If you're wondering why I used this top, it's because the gasket on this one was newer, but if I tried to take it off, it would have probably torn, so yeah. But whatever. Still a good bit of ways from being able to try and start it. Well, I could try, but I want to get the issue with the solenoid just chilling right there fixed. And then while I have the top cover off, might as well pressure wash this, but realistically I'll probably end up waiting till I see it run. This doesn't reach. Well, it really almost does, but seeing how the wiring harness is kind of just hanging out right here, if I put it like back up here to kind of where it realistically should be, that'll reach. So, but I mean, even now, it probably would. It just wouldn't be ideal, but it's realistically no less ideal than everything else done to this thing. Now, look at that. It would reach, basically. Yeah. But that's done. Tell you what, I've been trying to figure out what this stuff is for a while, and I finally realized. It's overspray from painting this. Why would he paint this, like the whole metal part of the column? Why would he paint that? I don't know, but he did. There's so many weird things going on with this mower. Alright, well, I'm back working on this thing. It's been a little bit. I was working on that one, but oh my gosh, that thing is so stupid and messed up. But anyways, I left off with a clean carb, but nothing done to it. So, yeah, I'm going to fix the issue with the solenoid just chilling right there, and then I'll hook the battery back up and try and start it. Alright, well, I've just been getting most of the loose crap out of here, and I got the solenoid bolted in place. Kind of zip-tied the wires out of the danger zone of the steering, whatchamacallit. I'm gonna move these in here. Whole electrical system on this thing is honestly a mess, but I'll be back in here to do this up properly later. We've got a rust on the deck lift arm or thing down there. I don't remember what you call it. I need to bolt that back onto the starter. I shortened the fuel line a little bit to run it in a slightly better place. Keyword slightly. But I think I'm just about ready to try and fire this up again. So let me finish everything here and then we'll try it. Alright, the battery is hooked up again. Everything is set. Let's see how this goes. Fuel line's not hooked up yet. I just want to crank it for a second before I do try and, you know, fire it up. I'll probably flush the fuel line a little bit since I know there's crap in there. Okay. Fuel still is working, so that's good. Okay, this should still work fine though. Good. Alright. Let me get the plugs hooked up, let me get the fuel line connected and see if it'll fire up and run. Let's see what kind of chaos will unravel. Check the wheel, by the way. It's going to need to fill the bowl. Remember that. I don't have the choke hooked up. That might help. Let me do that. Which is like none. Yeah, that's not enough to do anything, but let's see if it'll at least fire now. Uh-oh. Looks like it might. Trying. Horrendous amount of smoke. From what? Just oil burn. Is that just oil burning off the exhaust? Yeah, it looks like it. But hey, it's running off the carb. Not well, but it's running. Now, that old gas, that's probably what it is, realistically. But let me move this outside. Or, let's see if it'll drive outside. How about that? How about them apples? Or, well, I don't know. Let's just see if it'll do it. Don't want to run long either, because there's no way for it to cool having the thing off. Oh, gotta be kidding me. Alright. Do this again. Let's see if it'll idle down for us. What is going on? I took the idle set screw out, so let's see what it does now. You. Poker. Oh, I messed up. I didn't choke it. Man, this thing smells like a bloody two-stroke. I'll call that incredible. Let's sit here and run for a minute. Call that good for now. Need to put the top cover back on so that way it can, you know, cool itself and put an air filter on it. But yeah, smoke clear up pretty quick too. There wasn't too much oil on the exhaust, but there's some oil burning off the headers right now. Heads, whatever you want to call them, but that ain't bad. All right, I got the top cover back on so it can now actually cool itself, start it back up, and just drive it around probably. I want to try engaging the deck as it is to see what it sounds like. I know the fuel tank needs flushed and all that. I'm probably going to take it out and clean it properly. I'll put my inspection camera down there and see what it's like. But certainly it needs a lot of fresh gas run through it. I want to replace all these fuel lines because, you know, the tractor is almost 20 years old. It needs it. It needs, well, not a new hour meter, but something to hold it in place. New amp meter. Obviously, it's not charging the battery, so got to figure that out. I've got another set of tires I can put on the rear for the time being. Hopefully, these come off, though. It's a big thing. I should probably look and see if they are going to come off right now. What happens is they get rusty on the center axle, and I'm afraid this one already looks like it's going to be really stuck. But they get rusty because people leave them on there forever, and well, they just don't come off. Take the wheel off if this is what holds your wheel on your lawnmower, and clean that shaft up, get all the rust off, and grease it like I'm going to if I can get these off. They don't look great. At least that one don't. This one looks like it has been off before, maybe. That one might still have some hope in it. We'll see. Okay, I'm giving up pretty quick on these. There's marks all around this rim on the back. Like someone's been hammering on this to try and get it off in the past. And, well, I can't get it off now, so I'm assuming that they didn't. And if they didn't then, I am never going to be able to now. This tire doesn't have that. It's not as bad. Well, this tire leaks less. This is the worst tire, but if I can get at least one good tire on here, that's something, I guess. But there's no big marks on that one, so maybe someone successfully did get that one off at one point, but Yeah, this one I deem forever on here right already. All right, time out. What the hell? So in the other side, when I took it apart, I'm putting tubes in these tires. And there was already a tube in it, but the valve stem was broke off. Still doesn't explain why there's 2 holes here, or someone had 2 stems in here at one point, or until today, until I took them out. But looking in this tire, there's a tube in there and the stem ain't even broken off. So there's no way I'm lucky enough I can just rotate that tube down to one of those holes and this just airs up. If it does, I swear. Who put tubes in these and then just decided to make them tubeless? With still leaving a tube inside. Well, never mind, it doesn't hold air, so I gotta put a tube in anyway. That's funny though, still. I just finished putting the last tube in. It's not perfect, but yeah, it'll do. It's not like a race car or anything. So now all 4 tires have tubes, and hopefully I'll be getting back to this in the next day or so. I've just been very busy with the 0 turn that's probably getting uploaded way before this. But I have still made progress on it. Well, it's been a month, but I'm back with this. It's been a month since I've had it started. I've put tubes in about 2 weeks ago. Good old black liquid of death that's coming out. It's proof. I got PTO switch off the other tractor to put in since this one's the things are broke on the back side. It's these which hold it in place. I'm going to put this mower belt back on, which is in really rough shape, and see if this thing will mow, if it'll start up again. But it's been a month and that gas is already old. I don't want to gum up this freshly rebuilt carb. So yeah, I'm going to get this mower belt back on, get some pins in places on the mower deck because it's missing a bunch. Like right there. And then, yeah, we'll see if it'll, by some miracle, cut grass or leaves, because that's all there is right now. I decided it would be best to take the mower deck off again to grease the pulleys that I can a little bit better. I can't grease that one for some reason. And these are bad. Like there was rust spots in that one or something and it just freed up. This one was the same way. If I can ignore the sound of that scraping on that right there. I get this off. There we go. Ouch. These are all so loud. This mower deck's gonna be the loudest I've ever been around. These idler pulleys are the worst ones. I don't know why he would replace that one with a non-greasable one. That would be greasable from factory. They would make this one greasable and that one greasable and then that one just not. I should probably also get in there and check the drive belt. I think I have a new one. I might just go ahead and put it on. We'll see. But yeah, this is why I want to take it off again. Because good grief. I'm going to try and make it... I'm going to try and engage it like this. It won't really damage the tractor or anything, especially considering how weak that belt is. It'll break if one of these seizes up. But it's going to be loud. By the way, here's how the paint's just flaking off. Paint like this, it's going to leave this mower deck to be nothing in just a few years. Well, this just came to a screeching halt. It's a new drive belt, but it's like the wrong one, it looks like. It's mounted on this right. It's a trans mount here. I think there's a trans mount missing right here. Oh, good Lord. What have I got myself into with these two mowers? That right there's potato. I have another one of those if I need it. I don't think it's that bad though. Fuel line is seen worse. It's not where it's supposed to be though. Not the right drive belt. It's in here. So if I take it out of this, it's well, let's just say it. It's never going to grip. I'm amazed that's not. I'm amazed that didn't make a sound when I was driving this earlier. There seemed to be no clutch lift or no brake lift on this clutch, if they're supposed to have one. I don't remember. I seem to remember the Frankenstein Craftsman clutch didn't want to spin in reverse. Oh boy, this is bad. What, any other surprises under here? I'm getting tired of these surprises. I just realized he had it wrong here too. That's probably why it didn't work. He had it grinding against this right here as well. I am really getting tired of these surprises. I got the back cover off so I can get to this belt easier, since I'm probably gonna have to be taking it on and off a bunch of times to get this fixed. No wonder this didn't work. That's seized up there. I mean seized solid. So I'm gonna have to fix that. I'll see if there's something I can do about that. That's mint. There's plenty of dirt packed in here. Relatively big transmission, kinda, sorta. It's a hydro. It's a Tecumseh hydro. I need to figure out what this is and get one of these for Frankenstein Crafts, because the one at Frankenstein Craftsman's going dead, but this should still bolt straight in place. At least I think. I don't know. This, well, I'm gonna go with yeah, it probably would. At least have the hardware to make it work. Golly, the stupid stuff that's going on with this mower, though. Who'd have thought that when you put the belt on the right way, it's not grinding on anything? Okay, well, that's just bent. Whatever, I'll bend that out of the way. Anyhow, when you put the belt on the right way, it actually is tight. Oh my gosh. Ugh. This is how it should be, I'll put it that way. It's not grinding on anything. It's on how it's supposed to be. So there's a carriage bolt for this nut right here. I want to tighten this up, but it's stripped out on the other side. Great. Okay, here we go. I don't expect this thing to start on its own. It's been a month since it's ran. Even with a clean carb, it's still old gas. Dang it. That was terrifying. I might just replace this mower deck with just another standard Craftsman or Husqvarna 48-inch cut, or 48-inch mower deck. This is gonna be chaotic. Well, I kind of finally got it to idle. According to the multimeter, it is charging the battery, just very, very slowly. Like barely enough for that to pick it up. Also got a new fuel filter on it, and that seems to be helping. Well, this has come to a screeching halt. So I'm outside driving the tractor around, cutting grass. Well, not grass with it, but trying to get leaves away from buildings. And I go to engage the mower deck, and it just stops working. It dies. I disengage it, I go to start back up, and there's nothing anywhere. The pitot doesn't engage, the amp meter isn't moving at all, the fuel solenoid, it doesn't click, the starter doesn't do anything, nothing, anywhere. And I'm in here looking, the fuse is fine. I don't know what happened. I'm on the verge of parting this thing out, honestly. It's so bad, and it still needs a good bit of work. What sucks is I put tubes in those back tires, and it's not like I'm going to take those back out again. And I can't get them off the shafts. But it's good transmission for Frankenstein Craftsman if it gets to that point. Those aren't the right size tires, but I guess they'd work. But, yeah, it's bad. I'm in here checking for stuff, and just everything here is so messed up. If I could hold it still with one hand. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So it's been a couple of months. There's a lot that's changed with this. So, if I didn't specifically say in the last clip, I don't even remember. I'm starting to understand why a lot of the big YouTubers can't remember what they worked on a single week ago. It's happening to me now. Anyhow, a lot's changed. There's a gas pedal. I've removed the deck lift. It's got a manual transmission now. Spicer 4360. All the other tools have been ripped out. I need to redo just the necessary stuff. It's got new fuel lines. But yeah, I need to put a smaller pulley on the transmission. You can probably see where this is going. So, and a bigger pulley on the engine. You probably see where this is going. I don't know when I'll be able to get back to this and get it functional, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be cool when it does function. Because, well, I've wanted a speed mower or mud mower for a long time. And of course, here's the zero turn, which is also giving me a lot of trouble. Which, the engine in this came from the same place that tractor came from. I bought 2 tractors from the guy, as I said in the beginning of the video. I pulled the engine out of one and put it in here. I swapped the fuel pumps, so the fuel pump on that one's on that side, which just makes more sense. Over here, it's a little weird, but it'll be fine. It's better to have this fuel pump on this one than it is over there. This one runs really smooth, but it tries to set fire to the alternator. It's pretty funny. But yeah. Again, I don't know when I'm going to be back to this, but I just figured I'd let you know where it is now and what's going to become of it in the future before I end the video. What the next video is going to be, I have no idea, but yeah, I have to get this one out whether this tractor's finished or not, because it's been months. So, see you next time. Still never going to outdo this, though. That's for sure.